If you are building an AI automation agency, this video is going to give you the exact tools and tech stack that you need to ensure exceptional fulfillment and delivery for your clients at scale. From AI voice agents to CRM, chatbots, automation platforms, and even internal project management tools. This is exactly what I use in my own agency at Parrot AI. Now, whether you are just starting or looking to optimize your current setup, this tech stack will help you streamline service delivery, save time, and deliver results like a pro from day one. Now, this exact document, along with all the links, is going to be available for you free inside of our school community, linked down below. When you join, you're going to get access to over 50 videos on exactly how to start and scale your own AI agency, including scripts, templates, SOPs, as well as weekly calls with myself. All of that will be free for you when you join. And with that being said, let's go ahead now and get into this video. So in this video, we're going to be going over the tech stack for your AI agency. Now, two things to mention is that number one, this video is specifically going to be going over the tech stack for fulfillment and automation. So this is specifically for how to fulfill services for your clients. The second thing is going to be that if you have not watched the operational bottleneck exercise, I recommend that you do so. We'll link that down below. The reason you need to watch that is because you're going to craft your tech stack around the operational bottlenecks that your niche has and the exact AI playbook that you will be using. So for example, in the operational bottleneck exercise video, which essentially breaks down how to craft a no-brainer offer as an AI growth consultant, what we did is we went ahead and listed out the operational bottleneck, we listed out the mechanism, and then the tool and the tech stack. For the operational bottleneck, this is going to be what is the problems that a business faces or will face or is facing. In this example, we're using the dental clinic. So over here, you can see these are the problems that businesses face, and this is exactly what we're going to go ahead and solve as AI growth consultants. Now, once we have identified exactly what the problem is, we need to figure out how we're going to go ahead and solve it. So here is the mechanism to solve that bottleneck. For example, if someone has a missed call, if they're getting a lot of missed calls, the mechanism to avoid this bottleneck or solve for this bottleneck is going to be to install an AI inbound agent to answer and route the calls 24/7, which leads us to the tool in the tech stack, which is what tools are you going to be using in order to solve for this problem using this mechanism right here. That is where this video comes in. The tech stack that you are using is going to be based on this exact exercise, which maps out exactly the problem, the mechanism you'll use to solve that problem, and then the tool and tech stack that you will use for this mechanism. So if you haven't watched that, I highly recommend that you do so. But those two things give you the clarity that you need to get the most value out of this video. So this document outlines some essential tools that you need to run a high-performing AI agency, specifically focusing on fulfilling client services, such as AI voice agents, CRMs, automations, paid ads, so on and so forth. One thing I should also say is that there's really no right or wrong tool. Okay, these are just recommendations. These are just things that we use. Now, if you are an AI agency or rather an AI growth consultant and you're working with, let's say, local businesses, you most likely will need to build an AI voice agent for a few of your clients. So this is what we're going to go over. We're going to go over the AI voice agents. You're probably going to need some sort of CRM because a lot of these businesses would have issues related to having a CRM. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about AI chatbots. We'll talk about automations, and then any other miscellaneous tools that you might use. Now, this is stuff, these are tools that we personally use. The link for this document, along with links to all of these different platforms, is going to be linked down below, along with inside of our school community. So the first is going to be AI voice agents, and over here we have Retell. Now, Retell is really great. I actually love Retell. This is what we use to build AI voice agents. You can see here, this is a multi-prompt AI voice agent for a real estate company. And over here, this is what it looks like. You can come in here, you can create a voice agent, you can do a single prompt, you can do conversational, you can do a multi-prompt, and you can do a custom LLM. So these are the types of agents you can do. You can also go ahead and create a chat agent. Okay, so this is a new feature that they just added literally, I think maybe 10 days ago. Okay, you can now build chatbots in here as well. So we love Retell. I've recorded actually a 45-minute video where I break down how to build a single prompt voice agent inside of Retell. So definitely check that out if you are interested. So I recommend Retell. There's also other options as well. For example, you have Zapier. Zapier is really great as well. Again, both are great, just two different companies. It's like choosing between Apple and Android. Then you have Syncflow. AI. This is again a great tool as well. Again, personally, I love Retell. I think Retell is really great, but this is definitely another option as well. Then you have GoHighLevel. So GoHighLevel has built-in AI voice agents. Now, GoHighLevel is great, but I would say it does not compare to Synthflow, Vappy, and Retell. Okay, and the reason that is because it's not as robust as these other platforms. Again, I've recorded a 1 hour, 45-minute video where we build out a voice agent in here and chatbots, so definitely check that out. But if you check out the video, the voice does not sound like how good it sounds in Retell, Vappy, and Synthflow. For example, inside Retell, it's so much more robust. There's just so many other things that you can do. For example, let's say if we take a look here at the post-call analysis, you can do things such as extract certain data based on specific keywords. If we look at the speech setting, let's say there's a specific word that the voice agent can't pronounce. Well, over here, we can go ahead and help it pronounce that word by using something like an IPA or CMU formatter. Let's say, for example, it can't pronounce the name Ahmed and it pronounces it as Ahmed. Well, we can go ahead and add that in here using IPA or CMU formatter. And what it will do is it'll pronounce that word properly. These are things that like GoHighLevel does not allow you to do or does not have those features. So you can see here, Retell, Vappy, and Synthflow is just a bit more robust in that sense. So we've did a full breakdown on Retell and on this entire custom agent configuration panel. And I just want to list it in here, but I should tell you that it's probably not going to be the best option if you want a realistic human-like voice. So these are the 4 different options when it comes to voice agents. Let's talk about CRM, which is customer relationship management. I'm only going to put one thing here because I think GoHighLevel is great for this. I assume if you're working with, let's say, local businesses or even online businesses, GoHighLevel is a really great tool for customer relationship management. So it has an ups and its downs. It's not the best for AI voice agents, but it really is the best when it comes to CRMs. So we use GoHighLevel for everything. Of course, there are other CRMs that you can use, but GoHighLevel works really great, and it's like 15 softwares in one. So that is the option here. Everything that we do starts and ends with GoHighLevel. We use it as a centralize all our client data and automation logic. Then you have AI chatbots. So GoHighLevel is good at this too, but then you also have Retell. So these are 2 options that you can go ahead and choose when you are deciding on which tech stack to use. And again, guys, this is going to be based on this stuff right here. And I know it might seem like a lot, but honestly, you really just need like 3 to 4 tools, which you'll see in a little bit. Next, you have automation tools. So these are tools that help you connect different apps and automate repetitive tasks. So over here, you have Zapier and you have Make. We use both. Okay, Zapier is really great. You can connect anything to Zapier. Make is even better because it's a bit more robust. So Zapier and Make are great platforms that you can use for this as well. Just understand, Zapier can get pretty costly if you have like thousands of zaps. If that's the case, I would recommend using something like Pabbly or Pabbly, I believe it's called, Pabbly. You can use something like that. But these are 2 tools that we use when it comes to automations or when it comes to connecting essentially 2 platforms together, having them communicate to one another, or really for any automation for that matter. So that is the tools for automation. Now let's talk about miscellaneous tools. So some miscellaneous tools, you have Twilio. So Twilio is going to be where you are going to go ahead and use to basically like buy a phone number. Okay, so believe it or not, GoHighLevel actually sells phone numbers, but they get them from Twilio. Okay, we buy our phone numbers from Twilio, so Twilio is a good option for that. You have Slack. So Slack is basically a platform that you can use to communicate with your clients and with yourself. I recommend Slack. We actually switched over to Discord, and I'll tell you why. For us personally, when we were using Slack, there's a channel that they do when it comes to the free version. They have the general channel, and in that channel, you can't make it private. And essentially, anybody that you add to that workspace can see the other members in there. Now, I hate that because you don't want, certain clients being able to message certain other clients or team members messaging team members. And the only way to remove that is by upgrading to the paid account. And I believe their paid account is something like $9 per seat. So you can imagine if you have, let's say, 300 people, you're going to be paying $9 for both, for each person. Okay, and that's, I believe, paid monthly, if I'm not mistaken. So monthly, $9 for each person. So if you're running a bigger operation, you can see it can get costly. So we switched to Discord. Discord is just as great, maybe even better, in the sense that you can go ahead and customize it a lot more than you can do in Slack. So that's Slack for communication. Then you have 11 Labs, and this is the industry leading AI voice generation, great for voice cloning and ultra realistic audio. So if we go here to 11 Labs, we use 11 Labs for a lot of use case scenarios. I think the main one would really have to be AI voice agents. You can clone your AI voice. So for example, if we come in here, we can choose the AI voice, okay? But we can also add our custom voice, and we can do that by recording our voice inside 11 Labs and then connecting that voice here to Retell. So let's say, for example, we're building this for a client and we want the voice agent to sound like them. Well, we use a platform like 11 Labs to go ahead and clone their voice. Now, you can use this for many things. I mean, think about all the use case scenarios where you would want to clone your voice. So I've done a few videos where I use a software like HeyGen to create an AI avatar of myself. And then I use 11 Labs to clone my voice and then sync that with the actual AI video. So 11 Labs, you can use it for really any purpose where you are looking to clone your voice. Then you have ClickUp. So ClickUp is a project management tool, and this is great for tracking builds and client fulfillment. So there are many project management tools. I don't think there's a right or wrong, to be honest with you. We've used Monday.com. Actually, Monday is really great as well. We also use Airtable, but we also use ClickUp. So ClickUp, we use it specifically when it comes to tracking builds and client fulfillment. And then we use Airtable for building database of, let's say, the client acquisition that we have in our consulting agency, but then also in our AI agency. So they have different use case scenarios. I think ClickUp and Monday are basically just a copy of one another. So it really just comes down to preference. But ClickUp is the one that I would recommend here. And then you have Notion/Airtable. This is for SOP documentation, client onboarding, and internal works. Again, another tool that you can use. We like Airtable as well. As I mentioned, that is a good platform as well. So these are just some miscellaneous tools. Now let's go over some pro tip. So you want to pick the tools that integrate well with each other, and don't overload your tech stack early on. You want to master the basics like GoHighLevel, Retell, and Zapier before scaling into advanced automation layers. So first is use the tools that integrate well with one another. Okay, so if you are, let's say, using Retell, well, you can see here, Retell already has 11 Labs in here. So it makes sense for us to use 11 Labs. Right, or any of these other softwares as well. Okay, Cartisia, I've never used this one before, but this is a perfect example of like using tools that integrate well with one another. The next thing, which I think is really the most important thing, is that you don't want to overload your tech stack early on. You're going to sign up for some of these platforms. Some of them are going to have subscriptions. You don't want to pay for softwares that you're not going to use. Instead, start with the basics. And as I said, there's really going to be like 3 to 4 that you'll be using when you're starting out early on. And if you look at this tech stack, you can see here, there's really just like 3 or 4 tools that you see over and over again. It's going to be a tool for AI voice agent. In this case, it could be something like Retell. You're going to need a tool for a CRM. In this case, it would be something like GoHighLevel. And then you're going to need a tool for some sort of automation, which in this case could be something like Zapier or Make. Okay, so the idea is you don't want to overdo the tech stack early on, rather focus on what you need. And lastly, the entire tech stack can be added directly to your AI tech stack column inside of the operational bottleneck video document, which we had here. Again, that video is going to be linked down below. This is going to give you clarity on the tools to use to solve for each problem, which essentially makes your AI playbook. So hope this video was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.